Hello everyone, so this is the first flipped lesson for December and it is on main idea. So I'm sure most of you did practice with main idea in elementary school where you would read something and find out what it was mostly about. But we're going to do a little practice here and then you'll answer some questions and we'll see how it goes. So let's get started. So the main idea is usually the big point or the most important idea that the writer is trying to get across to the reader. And lots of times in the things you're reading, you can find the main idea just by looking at the title of the passage. For example, if you had a passage entitled Why Students Should Have Less Homework, then that would be the main idea of that passage. And then the rest of the passage would give you supporting details to prove that students should have less homework, which would be their main idea. So the main idea is like the heart of the text or a paragraph. It's the big idea. All the other writing in the paragraph should support the main idea. So how I like to look at finding main idea is I like to find the topic first. And I'll give you several examples in a minute. But what I'm talking about is a topic is usually only one or two words. So topics can include things like cars, poverty, kids, school, the government, Christmas, anything like that. It's usually one or two words. And then the main idea is going to be what the text is saying about the topic. So for example, if your topic is cars, if you know that's the topic, that's what they're talking about, then what is the paragraph trying to tell you about cars? And that would be the main idea. So many paragraphs have topic sentences that indicate the main idea. So we'll look at this paragraph. I'll read aloud and I'll give you a second to figure out what do you think the topic is. So it says, homeless people have many problems. In winter, it's hard to stay warm and it gets too hot in the summer. It's also hard to keep things safe without a home. Worse is the lack of privacy. So if I was going to tackle this problem, first I would try to figure out what is the topic. So this is what's pretty easy. I can tell you that the topic is homeless people. That is a topic. And so now I need to figure out what is this paragraph trying to tell me about homeless people. And this is pretty cut and dry. It's just telling me that homeless people have many problems. And then the next thing I would need to do is find details to support that homeless people have many problems. And it just says it's hard to stay warm in the winter. It gets too hot in the summertime. They can't keep things safe and there's no privacy. And so all the rest of the paragraph is supporting details to support the idea that homeless people have many problems. Let's try one more time. Never mind, that's the same one. Alright, here we go. So the previous one was a stated main idea, and what that means is that it just told you right in the paragraph what the idea was. But sometimes you have implied main idea, and implied main idea means that you have to figure it out yourself. You have to kind of infer what the author is trying to say. Excuse my handwriting here. So this paragraph is a stated main idea, which means I'm going to tell you that it says right in the paragraph what the main idea is. So let's give it a try. This says, the students had fun on their field trip. They visited the Marine Museum, they were able to tour a tugboat, and they bought souvenirs in the gift shop. After the tours, they ate a picnic lunch in the park and played with their friends. Alright, so if I was going to tackle this paragraph again like before, I would first want to find out what is the topic. If you go straight to the main idea and try to find it, you could get lost. So I see here that I could say the topic of this is students. I could say the topic is field trip. I could say the topic is the museum and all that. But what it's really talking about in this paragraph, the topic is the students. I know that because it mentions them several times with these pronouns. It keeps talking about the students. So I know the topic is students. What is this paragraph telling me about students would be the main idea, and as I told you before, it is stated, and it's right here, that the students had fun on their field trip. And then supporting details I could get for that are that they visited the museum, they toured a tugboat, they bought souvenirs, they picnic lunch, and they played with their friends. Alright, let's try one that's a little bit more difficult. This one I'm going to tell you is implied. There is no main idea right there. You have to figure it out. The Native Americans used the trees to build their houses. They hunted and trapped animals in the forest for food. They found roots and berries that they could eat. Some plants found in the forest were used for medicine. So I'll give you a second to think about what is the topic of this paragraph. So the topic of this paragraph is Native Americans, because it keeps talking about things they do. The main idea of this paragraph is not in here. You have to figure it out, because the main idea is not the Native Americans used trees to build their houses. But if I look a little bit further, I see that here it talks about trees, it talks about animals in the forest, it talks about finding roots and berries, and it talks about using some plants for medicine. So what do you think the main idea of this paragraph is? What is it trying to tell you about Native Americans? Well, I think that all of these that I just underlined are supporting details. And all this stuff is telling me the main idea, which is that Native Americans used resources in the forest to survive. One more. So this time I'm just going to give you a second to read it and decide, is it stated or implied? Main idea. What do you think the topic is? And then what's the main idea? Okay, so if I was going to tackle this paragraph, again, I'm going to keep telling you over and over, I want to find a topic, I want to find the main idea, and then I want to find supporting details. It would be easy to say that the topic is soccer. However, the topic is not soccer. The topic is soccer players. It is soccer players because it keeps talking about soccer players over and over again. So soccer players are the topic. What it's telling me about soccer players is that soccer players learn many skills when playing soccer. And that means it's a stated main idea. And then some details that support the idea that soccer players learn many skills is that they learn how to dribble and pass, they learn how to control the ball, and they learn how to work together with their teammates. Alright, I hope this is making sense. I got time for one more. We'll do the same with this one. Okay, again, I'm going to try to find the topic, main idea, and supporting details for this passage. It would be very tempting to say that the topic of the passage is swimming, because that's the word that jumps right out at you. However, that is not the topic of the sentence. The topic of the sentence is the beach. The main idea is not listed in this paragraph. It is implied. And so you have to take all this information and figure it out for yourself. And so the main idea of this paragraph would be something like, there are many activities you can do at the beach. Details to support my claim that there are many activities that you can do at the beach are, you can swim, you can snorkel, You can play beach volleyball. You can look for seashells. Or if you're lazy, you can just lay out in the sun and try to work on your tan. Alright, so that's all I need to tell you about topic, main idea, and supporting details for now. Thank you for watching the video, and you can now answer these questions, and we'll see how you do.